Blame me if I don't love you. All right. Hi, guys. I'm Emma. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this episode big time. Sister Wives star Aspyn Brown recently made news for hiding a big secret from fans. Apparently, she and her husband, Mitchell Thompson, are having their very first baby. Being Kody and Christine Brown's daughter, Aspyn keeps a low profile on social media. Due to this, fans usually have to depend on her mother's and siblings' social media platforms for any information regarding her. Aspyn hardly posts personal moments on her own social media platforms. Her mother, Christine, however, never misses an opportunity to share news regarding her children's milestone achievements. She simply loves to update fans with all the good news regarding her family. The reality TV personality usually gushes about her children and enjoys making new memories with them. But Aspyn's recent public outing caused quite a buzz on social media. Was what the fans picked up on really true? Did she really keep something this big a secret from her fans? It appears Aspyn Brown may be having a spirit baby. Gwen Brown, one of the Sister Wives cast members, frequently talks about family life and their Mormon heritage on social media. In one of her YouTube videos, she offered some interesting facts regarding their family beliefs. In Mormon culture, Gwen said, the concept of spirit babies means a lot. She disclosed that prior to the birth of Truly Brown, Christine had experienced a miscarriage. The family holds that the spirit of such a miscarried child would then return, most likely through one of Christine's children. Gwen opined that Aspyn could possibly be carrying her mother's dead child's spirit. Interestingly enough, Aspyn herself has never said anything publicly on this belief. When Gwen broke this theory, the fans were shocked. It caused many to question. Could this even be real? Aspyn Brown, from Sister Wives' baby announcement, completely shook the fan base. For years, Aspyn and Mitchell Thompson kept the subject of children totally under wraps. They got married in 2018, yet kept all talk of having children strictly hidden. Instead, both concentrated on establishing their careers and moving on to new things. And they were interested in career development and living life to the fullest. But when fans last saw Aspyn sporting a decidedly sizable baby bump, they were surprised. She made a rare public outing at City Creek Center, where she is the shop manager. Aspyn proudly displayed the store's entire Mother's Day line during her interview. But what caught the attention of viewers was her hugely pregnant stomach. The reality TV personality glowed, dressed in a blueprint dress and sporting bangs with her hair. During the interview, Aspyn had confirmed that she was indeed pregnant with her first child. A Reddit user later shared a screenshot of the interview, which initiated a lively thread. Fans were excited but surprised by the news. But many were asking why the family had kept Aspyn's pregnancy a secret. Given how advanced she seemed to be during the interview, some wondered that Aspyn must be due any day now. A fan remarked that she seemed like she could be quite far along in her second trimester. Aspyn had been on TV, so now it was out there. Others in the thread were criticizing TLC for deciding not to disclose the pregnancy sooner. However, most fans were just glad for Aspyn and Mitchell as they entered this new beginning. Some of the viewers had praised the family for choosing to honor Aspyn's wish to hold back the news until she felt prepared. Sister Wives, was Kody Brown broke or rich prior to selling Coyote Pass? Kody Brown, the reality TV star from Sister Wives, has always been linked with an extravagant lifestyle. He often flaunted luxury cars such as his white Mercedes-Benz C-Class convertible, which he reportedly paid about $57,000 for. Despite his high-end tastes, Kody also tended to complain about money problems. Once, he even admitted that he was broke and could not pay Janelle child support. However, he kept blowing cash on expensive jewelry for his fourth wife, Robin, leaving fans scratching their heads as to whether he was really strapped or secretly flush. Some of the fans alleged that they had seen Kody and Robin at Las Vegas casinos, appearing to spend lavishly. Insiders say Kody recently made a cool $1.5 million selling portions of the Coyote Pass property. He split the land into 4 equal parts and made a substantial profit, taking $750,000 for himself. Now the question is, Was Kody pushed to sell the land because of financial necessity, or was it merely a shrewd business decision? And did Robyn play a role in determining what became of Kody's money? Robyn was seriously in debt at the time of her marriage to Kody. Eventually, it was the sister wives' family that settled her debts and adopted her children as their own. Robyn continued living comfortably with Kody without making any contribution to the family's business ventures. Before marrying Kody, Robyn was seriously struggling financially. She openly confessed that her divorce had sucked all her finances. Although Kody once professed to having worked as a model, Robyn has had a much simpler existence since becoming a member of the Brown family. Sister wives, Kody still gripes about money, despite luxurious lifestyle. Since 2010, Kody Brown has been a household name in the news due to sister wives. Although making a good living through the show, Kody often complains about money. Following his breakup with Janelle, he even admitted he couldn't pay child support. But despite these assertions, he still goes on and spends big on lavish gifts for Robyn and the kids. He once bought a white Mercedes-Benz luxury car and spent freely on over-the-top Christmas gifts. This hypocrisy has fans asking, is Kody really broke? Or is he just pretending to be? Kody has frequently used financial difficulties as the excuse for selling off land, such as the famous Coyote Pass parcel. Even so, he was able to make a considerable profit on those transactions, living rather expansively before and after the sales. Robyn, on her side, also appears to live a rather lavish life. She has spent profligately on an extensive doll collection, even having dolls created to duplicate her hairstyle and appearance. Besides that, Kody possesses a very expensive blue sapphire David Human amulet pendant, just one eye-catching item out of their unique jewelry collection. So then, is Kody actually broke? Or is this just a myth? The indications are that Kody has the kind of money required to live as he does. Although he very frequently overruns his finances and lives well beyond his budget. It's probably also the case that Kody exaggerates his bad luck financially in order to avoid difficult situations. Meanwhile, within the Brown family, things appear to be changing again. And this time, it's from one of the most low-key and introverted members of the family. A fresh start is being quietly ushered in for a daughter who has generally kept a low profile. Her refusal to speak about significant milestones has merely added to the intrigue over what now appears to be a happy and intimate chapter of her existence. In the sprawling limbs of the Brown family, this young woman has skillfully kept her life private from the world. Even as her family often shared their triumphs and challenges with the world, she maintained the quiet strength of a life that was lived outside the public eye. But today, a soft ripple of rumor, the kind one feels when something lovely is gently unfolding, has unsettled her tranquil composure. The former reserved daughter recently appeared in public for a rare outing, and what the fans observed quickly got people talking. She emanated more than poise and style, dressed in a flowing, silky outfit that hugged her every curve like a dream. Unobtrusive motions, the positioning of her hands naturally on her midsection, suggested that a new heartbeat would be arriving in the family soon. While she herself kept her own social media characteristically quiet, those around her were not so reticent. Her mother, who is a tradition of acknowledging every child's individual path, has always been one to commemorate birthdays, graduations, tears, and successes with genuine pride. Without any formal declaration, the daughter's radiant beam and unspoken bliss spoke volumes greater than any statement ever could. The incident transpired on a casual trip to a busy shop where she is a shop leader. Surrounded by well-chosen spring arrangements and touches of the season, she stood with serene purpose. When a local reporter came by to feature gifts for Mother's Day, the veil lifted just a bit. Without revealing too much, she confirmed that change was on the way, that she was indeed getting ready to bring home a new life. She seemed effortlessly radiant, wearing soft sky blue hues with delicate motifs and minimalist embellishments. Her soft smile held the quiet assurance that comes with knowing that new beginnings don't always require great fanfare. They sometimes just require love. And her bangs, neatly framing her face, enhanced her understated, elegant beauty. Those who had once seen her come up on their television screens found their attention returning to her again, this time with immense joy and warmth. Screenshots were spreading quickly, and discussions flowered on online forums where dedicated fans tend to congregate. The overwhelming sentiment was simple happiness for a person who had opted to accept motherhood on her own terms, as opposed to curiosity or invasion. Some people did wonder about the timing. Why hadn't this happy news been released sooner? But others quickly replied with compassion. Not every happy moment must make headlines. Some stories must be allowed to unfold quietly, outside of the din, and maybe this was one such story. Ultimately, this is the blessed tale of two individuals willing to open their lives to a new life. Even as cameras caught fleeting moments and the web assembled its own narrative, at the epicenter of it all was shared values and profound mutual respect. The cornerstone of a love affair that began years earlier in university corridors and blossomed into an enduring union. The couple's popularity among fans only grew with the knowledge that they had decided to wait until the time was right to have children. And within the larger context of their religious beliefs, this moment held even greater meaning. Most in the family's religious tradition believe that souls will sometimes stick around, waiting patiently for the right time and place to come back. There have been hushed talk among siblings about spirit children, souls who, after once being misplaced before birth, may somehow come back into the family through a different doorway, another guise. One younger sister, who's well recognized for her open chats about family dynamics, had referenced this belief within a sincere video she posted. She pondered on the chance of the brother that they never met coming back to them one day, maybe by way of the eldest sister's future offspring. It was a sweet and spiritual idea, mashing together hope, loss, and belief in a story that only the family themselves could quite comprehend. These days, followers are reminiscing about those sentences with fresh wonder, as sly suggestions imply a new heartbeat coming into the family soon. Perhaps this is the soul once mentioned in hushed spiritual discussions, or perhaps merely a new start, lovely unto itself. Maybe it's simply a new soul taking a different route. And the loveliness is that both can coexist. Chatter continued to spread throughout the internet forums following her sighting. Many applauded the couple's decision to keep such a profound milestone private until the moment felt right. Others expressed admiration for the poised and graceful way the soon-to-be mother carried herself through it all. Little information has been released, and perhaps that's exactly how she intends it. After all, the most transformative changes often happen quietly, in spaces untouched by noise and spectacle. Nevertheless, it's apparent that it's a season of jubilation. A life previously preserved via childhood flashbacks and periodic public posts now turned a new corner. One guided not by popularity or public sentiment, but love, maturation, and new beginnings. Her transition to motherhood isn't merely embraced by her relatives, but by untold hearts which have humbly cheered her on in secret. There is a feeling that the family is pulling even closer together. The affection expressed in recent updates suggests a deeper, collective joy. While there have been no official statements, the atmosphere of reunions has become decidedly warmer. Those who pay attention between the lines can feel it, a family enjoying a happiness that is beyond screens, comments, and likes. The increase in interaction on photos where she features says it all. Her hesitation to make a public announcement says everything about her character. A woman who cares less for attention than for intimacy. A partner for whom authenticity is more important than fame. And now, a mother who is already building a future for her child. A future built on grace, privacy, and intentional thought. Fans can only dream of tiny glimpses into this precious new life. As her due date nears, the web of love around her holds firm. Whether she decides to open up further or stay quiet, her quiet acceptance of motherhood is something wonderfully uncommon in a world too often fixated on spectacle. It's a reminder that the most meaningful stories don't necessarily have to be broadcasted. They just have to be lived. Her book is about so much more than family planning. It's about deciding how and when to let the outside world in. It's about respecting her own timing. And most of all, it's about love. The type of love that is real, even when it doesn't crave the limelight. Once a stalwart patriarch of the Brown clan on a then popular reality show, he is now the focus of sheer quantities of hearsay. Once a respected, self-assured, and authoritative family patriarch, the life he showed viewers oftentimes conflicted with what was actually transpiring behind the scenes. He would sometimes openly admit to being broke. At others, he was seen enjoying extravagances that did not quite square with the profile of living hand-to-mouth. Today, followers and longtime viewers of the classic family docuseries wonder about a most important question. Was this then respected patriarch really broke? Or was the public persona he presented a deliberate cloak concealing greater realities? Since their first appearance before the public, there has never been a lack of curiosity about the large plural family's financial well-being. With several houses to keep up, many children to provide for, and the dynamics of plural marriage to manage, finances were always going to be a key consideration. But the man in charge, once heralded for his leadership, too often had watchers scratching their heads about his wildly unpredictable spending habits. Among his most vivid splurges was a shiny white convertible, a stark indicator of power and stature. As the car attracted envy, it also raised questions. Why would a person who said they were financially struggling spend money on such a lavish purchase? Adding to the confusion was his selling of the family's most treasured possession, a large piece of land that had been their collective vision of paradise. Originally meant to bring together all the wives and children in one shared vision, the land was ultimately divided up and sold. Others saw the high sale price as a smart business decision, while others accused it of being a last-ditch attempt at staying out of bankruptcy. Still, even before selling the house, the leader of the family seemed to be living very well, far from the image of financial hardship. Adding fuel to the rumors was the lifestyle of the woman who became his one and only romantic interest. Having experienced her own great hardships prior to coming into the family, she carried with her an overwhelming burden of financial struggle and emotional wounds from a troubled history. As an act of solidarity, the family intervened to her aid, assuming her debt and her children as their own. Maintenance of her financial affairs. With time, she moved from a tenuous financial beginning to a life of notable prosperity. But even with her new stability, her input to the family's business ventures continued to be negligible. This created constant speculation among observers. Had she taken advantage of a chance for personal financial redemption? Or were her goals ever actually in line with the family's overall goals? In the meantime, the family's patriarch continued to create contradictory stories. Despite his constant public assertions of financial straits, his actions spoke a very different tale. Extravagant holiday presents, specially crafted jewelry, and an apparent appreciation for luxury items always conflicted with his protestations of shortage. Among his most treasured belongings was a blue amulet, a symbolically charged, expensive item that suggested much greater prosperity than he acknowledged. Instead of dispelling rumors, these peeks at his extravagant way of life merely fueled the intrigue. One particularly confusing element was his unpredictable public demeanor. On television and radio interviews, he complained frequently about the weight of paying for his numerous children, particularly those that he had with the more independent wives. He complained vociferously about being overwhelmed by mundane parental tasks. There was little restraint, however, in his own spending. Behind the scenes, people sometimes caught him visiting entertainment sites in the City of Light. He and his preferred companion were known to visit casinos regularly, indulging in much more than the occasional evening out. It was unclear if these excursions were symptoms of greater financial distress or merely escapes from increasing personal pressures. Yet the frequency of such activity indicated a consistent pattern rather than one-off incidents. This contradiction led supporters to question his handling of the various women in his life. One, specifically, appeared to be the recipient of a disproportionate share of attention, financial and emotional, while others struggled to make do with little aid. Audiences argued whether or not this inequality was due to true affection or strategic favoritism. Was his love for her the product of love, Or was he employing lavish gifts and attention to craft a desired narrative? Contributing to the debate was the woman's affinity for extravagant hobbies. She became famous for her elaborate sets, frequently ordering special-made figurines designed to look like her right down to the precise haircut. Such as her. But these were not playthings. They were custom-made, attired in unique costumes, and designed to closely resemble her image. If the costs of such bespoke items were ever revealed, it would likely astound those who thought the couple was struggling financially. The sheer volume of money invested in such apparently frivolous endeavors only added to the puzzlement of onlookers. Even though he made constant complaints of drowning in expenses, the patriarch did not seem to have any problem financing these lavish hobbies. With each new extravagance, supporters found it harder and harder to match his words with his deeds. Even when the discrepancies were subtle, he never failed to show off an expensive purchase. During times of fighting, particularly with the women that had cut ties with him, he would consistently use financial necessity as an excuse for not extending support or a reconciliation. Upon being questioned for his lack of support by one of his ex-partners, he gave an old scripted response, "I just don't have the resources." Yet, almost simultaneously, he'd appear on camera sporting new designer clothes, cruising in a luxury vehicle, or admiring an expensive new gift given to his favorite companion. Many fans began to suspect that he wielded the narrative of financial struggle as a convenient escape hatch. Whenever confronted with emotionally demanding obligations or moments that required genuine sacrifice, he retreated behind the familiar shield of scarcity. It became a habit, a response to criticism, an excuse for inaction. The final sale of the family's cherished land was interpreted by some as yet another mysterious sign. But the real motivation remained unclear. Was it a change of long-range plans? A last-ditch effort to recover something from a crumbling family foundation? Or a calculated gamble to sell out before the value of the land started to slip? Whatever the motivation, the monetary influx from the sale merely served to add more dimensions to the mystery. If he were really in financial trouble, why did the payment appear to make no discernible adjustment to his lavish way of life? The ones who knew him best found the contradictions more and more difficult to ignore. A few members of the extended family started to quietly acknowledge that the life they presented to the world was frequently at variance with their actual experience. They had seen with their own eyes the excessive expenditure, the preoccupation with image, and the selective generosity. For them, trust and openness, previously essential family values, had become victims of an alternative, less truthful agenda. More significant than money or poverty, the actual enigma of the patriarch of this former noted family is in how he carefully molded his character to fit his every demand. He seemed to be struggling to garner sympathy. He demonstrated power to exert dominance. And when caught in between these two opposites, he just kept quiet, as rumor took center stage. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates every day. See you soon!